Back again. Another episode of A Muslim and an Atheist Breaks Bread. What you saying, Pops?
Good, man.
Yeah, man.
Boom, at last.
First of all, I just want to shout out and thank everyone who watched the last video. Good response. I liked it. A lot of likes, a lot of comments, a lot of shares. Please keep that going so we can keep this going. And I appreciate everyone who commented on the new settings and said that they love the new settings. That's what we try to provide. So I feel like at the start of last video, because we did the Kali Yuga, that stage, again if I pronounced it wrong, apologies, but I was almost right. It was something to do with the yugs and time, but I got told not to confuse it with yoga when I started talking about Dharma, Karma and all them things. But essentially, I think I mentioned a few times like it being like the end of days or the end days in biblical terms, which in essence is what I was trying to say, is it's not like gonna happen straight away, but what I'm saying is the world is going to a place of turmoil in essence. It's almost like you can align it with physics. You know how they say everything moves towards chaos? So everything moves towards chaos no matter what, apparently. So they're saying basically the end times is going to be chaos. Now today, I thought we'd stick with Krishna. And I thought I wanted to do, going along with the physics journey, we're going to talk about how Krishna was talking about the multiverse more than 5,000 years ago. Now this isn't a big long video, so it's nice, short and sweet, so we're just going to see what he has to say on it. What do you think about the multiverse, Dad? Does it exist?
Don't know. I'm kind of learning still, innit? That sounds like seed of life, fruit of life, tree of life, flower of life stuff. So, if it is the same thing he's talking about, then your seed of life and that theory about it breaking off into different multiverses and dimensions, everything together but at a different frequency. So
Okay, so let's jump into the video. This is how Krishna taught us about the multiverse more than 5,000 years ago.
This universe is way more complex and beautiful than what we modern humans imagine it to be. It is the conventional belief that the human civilization is moving towards discovering the real secrets of the cosmos through its thousands of years of evolution. Theories from the likes of Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein have completely changed how we look at the universe and its mechanism. But what if I tell you that there existed an ancient culture thousands of years ago, which was ahead of our modern science in finding out the mind-bending truths about the universe? Today, I am going to tell you about a very intriguing story described in the Bhagavata Puran, an ancient Hindu text, in which Krishna, who is believed to be the incarnation of the Supreme Soul of the universe, reveals a mind-bending secret. There is a unique concept in Hindu philosophy known as the avatar. An avatar is a conscious manifestation of the Supreme Being on the physical plane. In the Vaishnava tradition of Hindu culture, Lord Vishnu is worshipped as the Supreme Soul. He takes incarnation on this planet when order and righteousness is disturbed, and chaos and evil begin to take power. Krishna is the 8th incarnation of Lord Vishnu. The difference between a completely enlightened person and an avatar is that the avatar is conscious of his divine purpose on this planet from the very beginning, while an ordinary person has to practice various spiritual techniques to raise his consciousness to the highest level. Krishna is probably the most famous incarnation in all the Hindu pantheon. In Hindu cosmology, Brahma is the creator of this material universe, and he resides in a higher dimension called Brahma Loka. One of the first surprising things mentioned in the Bhagavata Purana is that time runs with different speeds on different dimensions in the universe. For example, it is written that one day of Brahma is equal to 4.3 billion years on planet Earth, and the night of Brahma is also of equal duration. The life of Brahma is finite, and he also grows old and dies. Then another Brahma is appointed in his place. But there are other dimensions higher than the Brahma Loka, and even Brahma cannot access those dimensions. The highest of all being is the Supreme Being, above whom there exists nothing. Everything happens according to his divine will. So, when the Supreme Being took birth on this physical plane, even Brahma was not sure it was him. He thought that Krishna was just an ordinary human being who enchanted everyone with illusions and deception. So to test Krishna, one day Brahma kidnapped all of his friends while they were playing in Vrindavan, the place where Krishna spent his childhood. Krishna knew what was happening and immediately replicated himself and turned each one into his friends. So to the people of Vrindavan, everything seemed normal. After a while, when Brahma returned to see what was happening, he was shocked to find that all of Krishna's friends were playing with him. He could not understand how was that possible. So he went directly to Krishna and asked him how he did it. At that moment, Krishna revealed something which completely changed Brahma's mind. At that moment, he understood that Krishna was none other than the Supreme Being himself. Krishna said to him that he was aware of his whole plan. He didn't do anything about it because he wanted him to show the truth himself. And the first thing Krishna said to Brahma was that he was not the only Brahma in the universe. Brahma was taken aback after hearing this statement. He said to Krishna that it could not be true, that he created this whole universe, and there is no one equal to him. Then Krishna revealed that this is not the only universe. There exist countless number of universes, each with their own Brahmas. Each universe is floating in the great cosmic ocean, and this universe is just a bubble in that vast ocean. In fact, this concept of our universe can be found depicted in ancient Hindu arts. Look at this picture. Each bubble in this image represents a universe, and the Supreme Being is depicted as Mahavishnu, who is in his divine meditation. This is such a wonderful depiction of cosmology which cannot be found anywhere else in the world. When the world was living in caves, the ancient Indians were talking about multiple universes and time dilation. It is quite surprising to see that the mainstream historians and researchers have not given them due credit for these exceptional discoveries. We hope to bring these amazing truths to light so that everyone could appreciate how advanced and beautiful the ancient cultures of the world were. You can support us in this endeavor by liking this video and sharing it with your friends. Thanks for watching.
That was quick.
You struggle.
That was short and sweet, short and sweet. What do you think? It's like when we talk about, I know we've been talking about the Watchmen and the Anarchy, and you saying like, you know, things that are written thousands of years ago, why aren't we shedding light on them? Not specifically to do with India, but that's just other cultures. Like you've got the Dogon culture, you got African cultures, South American cultures. Yeah. So there's a lot of places that are depicting things that we today refute. Why is that? Fear. Do you think it's fear? Just fear
of what?
Well, it's the fear of everything that you've ever known just not being true, isn't it? I guess.
Well, I think given the information, people will process it. You know, they say they're a religion, so people are religious. You know, without it, people would have spiritualism effectively, and everybody would be just going off their vibe. But with construct, which is religion, organized religion, then you get this thing. But again, I'm going to say, if there really was a cataclysmic event and the whole world got wiped out, it's like Iraq gets bombed back to the Stone Ages by America and these other countries. They have to physically start every house from the beginning and try and put the information back together, living in a world where they can access information still. But in a world where everything goes, then everybody's stupid at the end of it, innit? So Noah and his family and the people who survived the cataclysmic, when they came out, once that first generation with it, the second generation could only learn what the first generation could teach them, and then so on and so on. So it takes longer to get back to enlightenment.
Yeah.
And what they say is, as each era goes, each era is half of what it was before. As with things speeding up, vibrations going faster, Brahma existing in all these places at the same time, there's a theory that it's
superposition,
the
isn't it?
multiverse is different things operate, vibrating at different speeds, so you can't engage with them. The only time you have things come across vortexes and these things is when them meet and there's a hole between them. So theoretically, if something was moving faster, you wouldn't be able to see it. So it could exist in the same space as you. So I say, yeah, that make a bit of sense. Is it true? I don't know. I have 62 years of programming to
unprogram. It's weird, isn't it? Because when we talk about the multiverse, it's a thing called, is it superpositioning, where essentially you can exist multiple times at the same time.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
The tree of life means that the egg split. Inward then outward and all that stuff. But it has different stems, and each stem is a direction, another version of the same.
The difference with them though, it's kind of like, it's almost like, do you know, have you ever heard of the saying that if you had an infinite amount of monkeys, they'd write Shakespeare? Do you get that? Because what they're ultimately saying is that if there is a multiverse, then you're gonna have infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
So in one of those multiverses, monkeys would be
Shakespeare.
able to write Shakespeare. That would, because there's every single possibility that there can be would be. If you get what I mean.
Yeah. I think there's this film called Knowing, Nicolas Cage, and it's about aliens coming and getting two kids and taking them off.
Okay.
And through it, you know, he's there trying to understand what's happening. Even though he had an interest in...
No, you never seen it. No. But go on.
He's a father with a son, and...
Does he write on the black stones or something?
There's lots of little black stones.
That
float when the ship comes, and they keep giving them to the kids. Now, I forget the point I was going to make now. But in that film, like I said, he gives a good argument saying anything is possible. His whole thought processes and everything he'd approach, he didn't believe that someone could be predicting events 50 years ago that are going to happen now. So he had to move his thinking in order to be able to even give his son away to aliens to go away with. We have to be like that at this point, because there is so much information being dumped on us, processes and understanding it. But not everybody will. You know, some people will and some people won't. That's just the nature of life and the way things work. For me, I have an interest in this level now, but only because I felt comfortable at other levels, or else I wouldn't even try and understand this.
Yeah.
You know, but there are so many questions in my Christian research, the way the answers are in this now. Islam seems to be explaining itself more and more. Everything I find these days gives clarity on Islam, so I think it's adjusting its position as well. But the common theme across all of them is this super being, the super entity, and I think the holding version is always that it's Jesus, which is where I fall to pieces, because, you know, a creator, but Jesus, and even the Hindu thing, like me say, incarnation mean coming back as a man.
Yeah.
So Brahma didn't know that this was the big man in his things.
But he wasn't a man, he was an avatar.
Yeah,
Krishna, if I got that right, was never a man.
Men on earth, but him is an avatar really. So the avatar have message and purpose, and the human don't effectively.
But he just knows his divinity from the very get-go.
So him come with him full memories intact.
Yeah. Higher consciousness,
right,
all that.
but Brahma, who also have knowledge, technically should know, say,
That's...
if he's an enlightened being, you know, it shouldn't be like random with everybody else who've been trying to attain that level. If someone comes and they're already at that level, you should be able to see it straight away, innit?
Yeah,
well, talking about Creator God, we're not talking about me and you.
But the thing is, like, so if I'm correct now, Brahma created the earth, and
yeah.
So Brahma's the creator, and so he thinks, but he thinks he's the highest being.
He did until Krishna
said, "I am the highest,"
and say, "Yo, I be around now. There's plenty Brahmas and plenty this and that." So Yeah, learn more. Like me say, to me, for years and years, people refused to talk about India in terms of its artifacts, its architecture, you know, what they find in us about Indian thing. Like I say, the Anunnaki and Emerald tablets explain how these people achieved so much with so little in the first place. So there is new reading which I think you have to build in, because it never made sense everything happened in Jerusalem. You know, there's pyramids in America, how can everything happen in Egypt and all this rubbish that they've been telling us? This is what I said, don't you have common sense? You know, common sense has to apply. It never in the history of anywhere has there been a monkey man. Never written anywhere until some modern scientists decided that that had to be a justification for how black people came into existence. Then you hear black people promoting it, that we came from evolution, bro. No, we was created whole.
But was evolution a thing to say black people came from monkeys? I know that racist.
The whole
that,
agenda, that whole theory was
just people came from monkeys.
No, it was to justify white supremacy. It wasn't that people came from monkeys. They're supposed to be the higher level of us. That's their argument. So white people evolved to a higher level, but we closer to the archaic human, which them trying to say must have been an animal, because animals evolve. There used to be an eagle millions of years ago. There's still an eagle, it's just smaller now, but it's still an eagle. What they're saying is there was a monkey man, and so and say, well, the man must have been the monkey man.
It's called Osteopithecus or something.
Again, a theory. They haven't found any bones. So to me,
no, but I think
all
got
new
bones.
information. Huh?
I've got bones for
Never found bones.
Osteopithecus or something.
If they got bones for Ascopithecus, then they got pictures of space. And there ain't a picture on the planet of space. Not a real photo, Google it. And same way, there isn't.
What do you mean?
There isn't any bones for anybody in transition from animal to man. That doesn't exist. You see, they got mermaid things. They're trying to justify this now. Where was there for
I don't
the
know
last
why would you have
bones?
What would the bones
Everything
be?
dies in it. So that's how you look at your history. You go to graveyards and dig up and say, well, people used to be shorter, people used to be sicker. They can study corpses, which is how you look back on where you're coming from, European and ancestry, DNA, and all that stuff.
But it's a bit almost like saying, again, you don't believe in evolution at all, so it's kind of a hard.
There ain't no bones. Give me some bones and I'll believe it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is, you can prove that evolution. We've had this discussion before. You can prove evolution exists, but I know you say that single cellular organisms.
The same as what I'm talking about. Evolution in terms of my teeth fell out and one's gonna grow back. Yeah, that happens.
That's not evolution.
Well, what's evolution?
I'm talking
the placebo thing you can go back to.
Yeah, we'll again talk about life, bacteria.
Right. All life comes into existence one way. But what brings it into, so even the bacteria, placebo, something brings it into life. It doesn't bring itself into life, right? For it to be a placebo or a bacteria. Then it splits, multiplies, just like the egg in the woman, and becomes So that isn't evolution. That's actually the process for creating man. You can't call it evolution. A woman gets pregnant, doesn't make it evolution. That's the process for us.
No, but it becomes evolution once the new generation, so the progeny, change to the traits that they have, enable them to survive in a different environment. That's essentially what all evolution is. That's all it is. It's not talking about man and how babies are formed.
They have this
and
monkey thing that they did in Japan. They wanted to test how monkeys learned and stuff, so they used to feed monkeys sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Right. So monkeys love sweet potatoes. They monitored them, gave them sweet potatoes, but the monkeys didn't like it because it fell in the sand and they couldn't get the sand off the thing.
Yeah.
Some of the young monkeys eventually figured out if they wash off the sweet potato, they can eat it. The old monkeys refused to do it. Now, they said the young monkeys who did it, obviously, eventually, some of the other monkeys took it on that island. Now,
that's not evolution.
Huh?
That's not evolution. That wouldn't be considered evolution.
Hang on, right? The evolution part for me, and it's a question because I don't understand what you're saying. Evolution is other than the placebo, which again is life. So how can it be evolution, right? But the monkeys learned to basically process their sweet potatoes, wash it off and eat it. All of them started doing it. The old ones didn't. Then they found that in New York, the monkeys in New York who weren't
Doing
even
the
on
same
the
thing.
island started washing off their thing and doing it. All of them did it at the same time. So they're saying there's an indelible link between species at the cellular level that informs, you know, that this bell's spinning here and it's spinning somewhere else. So across species, and they're saying that's the thing with mankind. Once the information comes and they did a test for man with faces where they had 1 million faces and they asked people to see how many they could see. The first time round they could see, everybody could see 3 or 4. That was in Australia. They ran the test in England. Everybody could see hundreds after they'd already done the test in Australia without communicating it at all. So they're saying species has an internal communication thing that exists.
Like a subconscious, like telecommunication.
So this is what I'm saying.
Telecommunicating also.
Evolution and the growth of a child, like I said, it's destined to do that. For it to come into being, this is the process to come into being. But it's not evolution, it's the process as started by our creator, whatever created us, Inky, Enil, whoever, God, whoever. But, you know, initially man couldn't procreate. So them used to just make them, and when they died, they died. And then this whole thing about Isis and Horus, and she make the first Adama. The first Adam was the first human. And he was only human. There was other people, but he was human because he could procreate. That's the first time Adam and Eve, they made where we could sustain with one life. Them never have to make another one from fresh. And that's how the human came, distinction from everything else. So the process was put in place from she gestate for 9-10 months. Not evolution. The egg going, the light flash, the egg start to split and all them things. Not evolution, but if you look at it in isolation, then it would be an evolutionary process because egg splitting and doing all these things makes it seem evolutionary, but that is its whole purpose.
That's not evolution.
What's
That's
evolution
what I'm saying.
then?
So evolution isn't the process of what's the word I'm looking for? Like proliferating, right? So the splitting of the cells isn't the evolution part. No.
Right.
The evolution part is the passing of new genes to make us more adaptable to new environments. That's what evolution is. So the evolution of man is seen to be, it's not like how we have children. Yeah, what you're saying, the process of having kids, yeah, that's fine, like we know that. But it's about how strong genes survive within us, because your body has a biological trade-off and it knows the environment influences your genetics or your physiology essentially. So like they say now, what is it? I'm trying to think now. Like your kidneys and things, and like we don't really use them anymore. Like they'd say like back in the day we used to use them to process different foods that we don't eat. So slowly they're eroding, so they're not coming. So over a period of time, that would be called the evolution of man. The same way how our teeth have changed over time, because our teeth, we don't really need like, you know, like we used to have like big canine teeth. Over a period of time, they've changed and they've become flatter. Again, that become evolution because our body knows we don't need those traits.
I don't know that we used to have big teeth, but yeah, I'm hearing what
But
you're
you're
saying.
trying to get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is like the passing, this is what I say to you, like the reason why we can watch evolution and bring it back to bacteria, the reason why we can watch evolution in bacteria isn't because they're single cellular, it's because of their rate of reproduction. They reproduce every half an hour. So if you can imagine within a day the amount of generations that they go through, for us to watch the difference between that one that was born at 6 o'clock to the one that was born at 6 o'clock the next day.
But what difference is there? Don't they born and do the same thing?
No, that's what I'm saying. So no, they don't. That's what I'm saying to you. So the change in processes. So you can basically put them in a culture. You can put external stimuli in. So whether that's like things that kill bacteria,
Sound or whatever. Anything,
yeah, sound. You can put toxins,
Anything.
anything in there. And what you'll watch is over a period of time, their bodies, their structures, and how they adjust.
Environment.
Yeah, but not within that same culture. It's when they replicate. So when they replicate, they'll have like distinctions to the first set. So it means like, okay, so your body's adjusting to that. So when they replicate again, distinctions. So it means that you're becoming now. That's why they say like that's why you get antibiotic resistant bacteria, isn't it? So when they used to give antibiotics to you, they'd work on everything. But now them same bacteria now will fight off them antibiotics because their bodies have changed. So they've evolved to become resistant to certain medicines.
Yeah.
That's
so
what
that's
evolution.
the body defense, right? So every creature make for survive and have it built-in mechanisms.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's not by accident. And when your knee swells up, it's not accident. It's part of the design. It comes to heal itself and all that kind of stuff.
100%.
So the body's designed to survive, and a lot of things, like I said, the teeth example, they're saying now wisdom teeth are actually would make you this, and we shouldn't have been taking them out, but it was a way of dumbing the population, like fluoride in the water. They have these things that they do that they're coming up with different answers and justification. So COVID, now they're saying everybody who took the jab isn't human, right? So they're classed as non-humans. Everybody who got jabbed is classed as a non-human. Does not.
Really?
Look it up. That's what they're saying, bro.
I mean, I'm not going to...
COVID people, there's debate going on, and this week in particular, it's like something's going on because they're just on and on about it. They're not classed as humans anymore. They lose their human rights because their DNA is changed at a sub-level. This RNA thing they put in there has changed them. They're not classed as humans. They don't have the same rights as me.
I didn't know that.
So there's all that. So I understand things can change, but the man never changed. The man is still the man, and it, like I said, they've put something in. When we used to live for 900 years, somebody said, look, this ain't working, so they changed at a cellular level our DNA, so we die at 120. It was still the man. It wasn't evolution. It just put in, and that's how we go. So that's everybody gets 120, and then you're gonna crack it. It's a cellular change, not evolution. And then the kids who are born naturally do it without you having to tamper with them.
Yeah.
That's evolution, where the process kickstarts itself. So if there were no men and no women there, everybody was asexual, that would be evolution, because we got two species at the moment, whereas somebody's agenda is to create a single species. I forget the word that they call it for having one type of thing, androgynous or something.
Yeah, androgynous.
So the agenda for 2030 is to transition as many men into women and etc. as human, under somebody's agenda, what them call this.
That's depopulation. Agenda. Depopulation.
It will lead to it, but the ultimate thing is that just want a being that self-sustains itself now. And they're trying to, with all this full education, let me say, they control the thing. That's the theory.
Yeah, I disagree with that theory.
Krishna, back to Mr. Krishna. Again, I don't see the evolution, the things he's talking about. Yeah, I understand the structure.
But Krishna's not even talking about evolution, is it? I don't know, actually. That's a good question in the comments. Do Hindus believe in evolution? Because I don't know, I can't remember watching it. Is it a thing? Evolution?
Well, incarnation they believe in, but, it's slightly confusing because you're a god, you become a man,
everyone
and
believes,
a god doesn't
all
know
religions
that you're
believe
a god.
in incarnation to some degree, other than Islam, like Christianity does.
Right, pagan
Judaism
religions
does.
believe in right.
But Christianity's not pagan religion.
Of course it is.
Well, I guess it was started by pagans.
It's a pagan religion, man.
Okay, so Christianity, Judaism, all them pagan religions, so the Druids and all them,
Judaism may not be, because that is a monotheistic religion. But like I said, the people who practice that pseudo-Judaism, they're doing a pagan religion. Because they're not actually they're trying to kill God's creation, the opposite of what the whole thing was set up for. They believe they're chosen, the rest of us are goy. And we have no function. They can do whatever they want to us. They have the money, the power, the deception. They run everything. So there is two sets of Jewish things going on: Zionism and the people who are religious and want to go back and live in Israel on a religious basis. Zionism's got nothing to do with religion. That's just empire.
Yeah. Okay, listen, we'll leave that there. Good discussion now, but Krishna dropping gems still.
And I didn't know any of that stuff. I'd not heard them stories before, so useful.
Yeah, definitely.
Watch that
Okay,
one
then. So that was how Krishna taught us about the multiverse more than 5,000 years ago. We out. Peace.